Hello students, in this video we will study some of the literary terms that you will find in the unit C of the paper second, and these are the literary terms which include sonnet, lyric, ode and ballad. These are the poetic forms. It also includes simile, metaphor, alliteration and irony, which are the figures of speech which the poets or other writers uses in their works. Further, there is soliloquy, which is a component of a play, and heroic couplet, which is a stanza form used by classical and neoclassical writer. So in the exam you will be asked to write a short note on any two of the given four literary terms. Now the question arises, what are the literary terms? Literary terms are the various devices, techniques, concepts used by the writers to convey their matter and meaning beautifully to the readers, and these terms have emerged or they keep emerging in the course of the literature writing. So now let's go through them one by one. The first literary term is lyric. Lyric is the major classification of poetry. Even other poetic forms like sonnets and odes also fall into this category. And to better understand the term lyric, we have to differentiate it with other forms of poetry, which is narrative poetry, which tells a story, which depicts characters and actions. But unlike narrative poetry, lyric is a more personal in nature, portraying the poet's own feelings, states of mind and perception. So we can say that the term lyric signifies any short poem which is melodic and contemplative, which expresses personal emotions, feelings and experiences of the poet, and it is typically spoken in the first form. The notable poets in this genre, in this classification of literature, is John Donne. The second term is sonnet. Sonnet is a 14-line poem with a fixed rhyme scheme which is often written in iambic pentameter. Pentameter is a 10-syllable line with 5 pairs of iambic, that is unstressed and stressed syllables. If we talk about the types of sonnets, there are two major types of sonnets on the basis of their rhyme scheme. The first one is the Italian or Petrarchan sonnet, and the second one is the English or Shakespearean sonnet. So let's first talk about the Italian sonnet. It is named after 14th century Italian poet Petrarch. The Petrarchan sonnet consists of an octave, which is a group of 8 lines, which is followed by a sestet, a group of 6 lines, and the rhyme scheme of this kind of sonnet is ABBA for the octave, but in the sestet rhyme scheme may vary. The octave introduces a problem or conflict, and then sestet addresses or solves the problem. Now let's talk about the English or Shakespearean sonnet. The Shakespearean sonnet is named after its greatest practitioner, William Shakespeare. This sonnet falls into 3 quatrains, and quatrains is a group of 4 lines, and a concluding couplet, which is a pair of 2 lines, 2 rhyming lines. Its rhyme scheme is as follows: AB, AB, the first quatrain, CD, CD, the second quatrain, EF, EF, third quatrain, and the concluding couplet rhymes GG. The next literary term is ode. Odes were originally choral songs performed in accompaniment of musical instruments and dance. These were developed by poets such as Pindar and Horace. So we have Pindaric odes and Horatian odes, two categories of odes in English literature. But now the term has come to signify a massive lyric poem praising and glorifying an individual, celebrating an event, or describing nature or an abstract concept intellectually rather than emotionally. It is often in the form of an address. It is serious in subject and uses dignified language and elevated style and elaborate structure. Dryden's Alexander's Feast and Keats' Ode on a Grecian Urn fall in this category. These are famous odes in our English literature. The fourth literary term is ballad. Ballad is a kind of narrative poem. It is a poetic form that tells a story, and the story is told in 4-line stanzas which are called quatrains. And here we will find that usually second and fourth lines in this stanza will usually rhyme. And the literary ballads which we find in literature, like Coleridge's Rime of the Ancient Mariner, they have been written in imitation of the traditional ballads or popular ballad or folk ballads which were of unknown authorship. Their writers are not known and they have been passed on orally from one generation to the next. And these literary ballads try to imitate the form, language and spirit of the folk ballad or traditional ballad. And in these literary ballads we will find some characteristics which are following. We will find abrupt opening, there will be abrupt opening of the poem, and we will find the third person narration here without the expression of personal attitudes, feelings of the poet. And here we like the dramas, here we will find setting and actions as well, and some stock descriptive phrases will be repeated at intervals. So these are the some literary terms which we have discussed here, and the remaining literary terms we will discuss in the next video. Thank you.